Hey gaming fans! Well, it's been a while since I've done any videos, but you know, it's just lots of stuff to do on the go. But you know, I still like to dabble into the cards every once in a while, and I picked up these structure decks. Well, I picked up 3 of them. This is just one of them. This is the Beware the Traptrix structure deck. Yeah, I know this has been out for a little bit, so I'm a little bit late to the party on it, but I thought I'd open it up anyways and give my thoughts on the cards. And I was just looking on the website and I saw that there's also a Fire King one that's coming out or already out. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but that one looks interesting. Anyways, yeah, I definitely would like to try and play around with Traptrix. I remember before picking up a bunch of them back in the day when they first came out and trying to build a full Traptrix deck, but at that time there wasn't a lot of them available. There wasn't a lot of Traptrix monsters that were really that good, and you know, some of the traps were okay. People usually just splash them into decks, but this is kind of neat that, you know, to build a whole deck based on them. Okay, what do we got? The standard stuff here, just the play mat. I usually don't do much with these. I like to read the inside. Sometimes it gives you a little bit of tips on how to play these decks or how to play the deck out of the box, which I don't think anybody ever does unless you're doing it for fun. You know, battle of the structure decks or whatever, and you just play as is. That'd be kind of fun to play with friends like that, but I don't think anybody ever really just takes these things as is and just plays them as a deck. You're not going to get very far. Yeah, so let's get this. Got to get all this plastic crap off. And sometimes it's good that they have this, and sometimes it's not. Especially when you just want to get into it. So, what do we got here? Traptrix Purica. Can't say the name. Never can. This is a plant excuse me, lost my voice here. This is a plant monster. It's unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. So that's pretty much their theme. The whole trap hole thing, any trap that has hole in the name. There's a whole bunch of them. So obviously if you're playing against another Traptrix deck, it would be kind of interesting because a lot of your traps, if they're all trap hole decks, they're not going to do anything. So, you know, it's kind of one of those decks where you got to be cautious with it. You only use each of the following effects once per turn. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Traptrix Garden from your deck to your hand. If this card is special summoned, you could special summon one. If this card is special summoned, you could target 1 special summon monster on your opponent controls and banish it. Also, during the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon one of their banished monsters. I mean, it kind of sucks that they get their monster back, but I could totally see that, you know, banning an Xyz monster, banning a Link monster, banning something that's just sitting there on the field, doing a lot of problems. So I can see this being a pretty cool card. Traptrix Garden, that's the one that she just mentioned. During your main phase, you could normal summon 1 Traptrix monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So that's really cool. I mean, that's the thing about the Traptrix is you want to get them out fast. You want to get them onto the field. So this is kind of like a cool double summon effect. First time each of your insect or plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle each turn. It is not destroyed. You can banish 1 monster you control, special summon 1 Traptrix monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only special use the effect once per turn. So that's a really cool field spell. I like how they, you know, it just seems like recently they've always been buffing up the field spells to be really good, to go on theme and all that. So that's really cool. And it has a searcher for it, so really good. Trap Tantalizing Tune. Discard 1 level 4 insect or plant monster or 1 normal trap. Draw 2 cards. So I always love these ones too. Everybody loves these cards. You know, the whole trade it for it and another card for 2 cards. And it's on theme, the insect or plants or traps. So it's actually a pretty cool draw card. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 1 of your banished level 4 insect or plant monsters or normal traps. Place it on the bottom of your deck. I guess that's okay. You know, it allows you to, you know, recycle. It'd be better if you actually went to your hand, but, you know, we can only ask for so much. Then we got their Xyz. I know they got a bunch of Xyz monsters. Traptrix Pingulcula. 2 level 4 monsters. I'm surprised it's not 2 level 4 plant monsters or insects or whatever. Well, this card has material, is unaffected by trap effects, and deactivated effects of other monsters with the same type as this card material. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can detach one material from this card, add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. Well, that's pretty good. So you can just recruit basically from the deck. If a monster owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can attach one of those monsters as card. So, pretty cool effects. I mean, 2,500 attack, not too bad for, 2 level 4s. You got the Link monster, Traptrix, Atopus. 2+ monsters, including an insect or plant. So there we got the, you gotta have the plant or insect. This Link summon card is unaffected by trap effects, so, typical Traptrix type of thing. But this is like any trap, so that's cool. All Traptrix monsters you control gain 1,000 attack while you have a normal trap in your graveyard, which you probably will. Once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of insect and plant monsters you control, negate their effects until the end of turn. Then you can apply this effect, banish one normal trap from your graveyard, and if you do, destroy one of those targeted face-up cards. So, really cool. And a nice 1,800 base attack. Traptrix Akrakankampa. I mean, these names are just getting crazier. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal trap cards, of course. The first time this set card in your spell and traps... The first time each set card in your spell and trap zone would be destroyed by a card effect each turn, it is not destroyed. During the main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for insect or plants, which is probably what you're going to be summoning anyways. So, I mean, that's a pretty okay card. I mean, it looks like it helps defend your traps and stuff. Evenly matched, really good card. Nice to see it in a structure deck. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you can make your opponent's banish cards from their field face down so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this from your hand. So, really powerful card. Nice that they put it in a structure deck. Otherwise, I couldn't afford it. Traptrix Holotuya. So here's one of their traps. You can activate this card the turn it was set. By discarding one normal trap. That's pretty cool. Special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. Oh, okay, so it's a trap monster. I love trap monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, really cool. I like this card. It's got a pretty decent defense, 2,400 defense. So, pretty cool. Traptrix Atrax, one of the original ones, the OG Traptrix. Unaffected by the effect of whole trap cards. And you can activate whole normal trap cards from your hand. That I kind of like, being able to keep the traps in your hand so they're not they're not going to be harpy feather dusted or anything like that. Mystical Space Typhoon. I always like that card. And they gave it a nice solid 1,800 attack, which is neat. The Marmello. It's the same thing, unaffected by normal trap cards. When this card is normal summon, you can add one whole normal trap from your deck to your hand. So this is a good opener. And then if this card is special summon, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. So it gives you a little bit of spell and trap discretion as well. Neptunus. So there's a lot. What's this one here? Unaffected by the effects of... Yeah. When this card is normal summon, you could target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard. Special summon that card in defense position. So this is good for your XE summoning, which is good. When this card is special summon, you could target one whole normal trap in your graveyard, set that target, but then banish it during the end phase. So pretty cool. Genelicia. Unaffected by the effects of trap holes or hole traps, you could tribute this card. Set 2 whole normal traps with different names, one from your deck and one from your graveyard, but banish them when they leave. So this is an okay card. This is probably one that you'd, I guess, probably have one in your deck. I can't imagine you wanting more than one, because it is kind of like a mid to late game kind of card, but I could be wrong. Traptrix Vescillo. Unaffected by whole cards. You can only use one of the effects once per turn, and only once that turn you can send one spell or trap you control to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. So, okay. If you control no cards in your spell and trap zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one whole normal trap card and set it. I like how it just they keep resetting your traps back to the field. That's pretty cool. Kaiju, just a regular Kaiju guy. I guess they put him in here because he's an insect. This deck revolves around plants and insects. But it's always handy to have a Kaiju, especially if your opponent has a monster, a stubborn monster you can't get rid of. You just tribute it off and it's gone. Another Kaiju, another insect. Retaliating Sea. This is when your opponent activates a spell card that includes the effect that special summons monsters. You can special summon this card from your hand. If special summoned this way, while this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So, yeah, that's really just there to disrupt your opponent's plays. Resonance Insect. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one level 5 or higher insect monster from your deck to your hand. So what great way to get your Kaijus and stuff. Lone Fire Blossom. Obviously one of the best plants ever. I mean, you just tribute them off and special summon any plant from your deck. I mean, the whole reason to ever play a plant deck is because of this guy. Really love this guy. Ash Blossom, another card that I'm glad they put in structure decks, because before I could never afford these things. They're expensive. You can banish this card from your graveyard. As you can see, I'm more of a discount player. Yeah, Rose Lover is okay. I mean, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one plant monster from your hand, and if you do, it is unaffected by your opponent's trap cards. I mean, I remember trying this out in, like, those Sylvan decks, or whatever they're called, Sylvans. You know, the plant deck. Sage de Fleur. Why is this guy in here? You can target one monster you control and one card on the field, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy them. Oh, that's pretty interesting. This card sent from the field to the graveyard, you could target one other monster in your graveyard. Shuffle it into your deck, then add one level 1 plant monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, I can see that. Throw in a Mech Knight here. Okay. He's a psychic. If 2 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can special summon one Mech Knight purple Nightfall once per turn. You can target one Mech Knight monster you control, banish it until the end of the standby phase the next turn, and if you do, add one Mech Knight monster. I don't know why this is in here. If you know why it's in here, let me know. I don't know. Okay, like they're putting Mech Knights in here for some reason. Artifact Moralitok. I always screw his name up too. He's a good one. I know that one. If they destroy, basically, if it's destroyed in your spell and trap zone, you're on your opponent's turn. If this card, you get to, what do you have to do? Destroy one face-up card your opponent controls. So it's pretty cool. Fire and Ice Hand, interesting. You know, I've tried these out in decks before, a long time ago though. Of course, you got Thunder Hand too, so you got all the hands in there. Raigeki, really nice to see that in a structure deck, and Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 of the strong wipe the board cards. Really love that, seeing that in the structure decks. Hey, we got some Terrifying Trap Hole. Nightmare, another trap hole card. If your opponent has special summon a monster this turn, target one monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack, destroy it. Then if you have a whole normal trap card in your graveyard, you can banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. I mean, that's okay. It destroys the monster. I'd rather have bounce it to the deck or bounce it away forever. The Standard Trap Hole. If anybody ever plays Standard Trap Hole, I don't know. Bottomless Trap Hole. I remember when Bottomless Trap Hole was really big. That was a long time ago, though. But I'm assuming it could still wreak some havoc on certain decks that are not expecting it. It does get rid of stuff. Void Trap Hole. When your opponent special summons a monster with 2,000 or more attack, negate the effects of those monsters with 2,000 or more attack. And if you do destroy it, that's a little bit better, because at least it negates their effect when it comes into play. Trap Hole doesn't. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. I remember this came out when the Traptrix were first introduced. Kind of the reason to play the Traptrix. When a monster was special summoned this turn, activates its effect on your opponent's field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy the card. Because that's typically what people do. They summon a monster and then they activate the effect. So then we got Floodgate Trap Hole. When your opponent special summons monsters, change that monster to face down defense position. Monsters change to defense position by this card cannot change their battle position. I don't know, it's kind of a weird card. I don't know if the, you know, I can see that they can't, like, Xyz or anything like that, I guess. I don't know. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. When your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or graveyard, or when your opponent's banished monster effect is activated, negate its effect, and if you do, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponents. I like that, you know. Really goes against the hand traps. Of course, we got Traptrix. Why not? Trades itself in for another trap. The Phantom Knight Shade Burgundine. So, okay. Artifact Sanctum. That's a nice card to see in here. I mean, that's, you know, to pull out your artifact card. But it looked like there was only one artifact in here. But it's a good one. And, of course, Naturia's Sacred Tree. That's if you're playing earth plants or earth insect monsters, which is pretty good. Traptrix, Raficella, and Alomer. So all your Xyz, your links, I'm not going to read them all. This is already a long video. And the last one is Traptrix Mantis. Unaffected by whole cards. When this card is normal summoned, you could add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. Did I already read this one? I can't remember now. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent deck. I'm definitely going to try it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and do a... looks like there's a lot of good commons in here. Maybe do a common charity deck. And also try and do like an actual, you know, good one. And see how these decks look like. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Hopefully I can make some more content soon. I know I've been lagging on this channel. There's a lot of things on the go. But we'll see. Anyways, talk to you later. Oh, and hope you subscribe.